Hello there, everybody. This is Pittsburgh Pat, and I'm here with Heather Mallak. How are you today, Heather?
Hi, Pat. Good to see you.
It's great to see you. I haven't seen you in like 15, 16 months, it feels like, in person.
Yeah.
We used to have a pottery studio, and I think the potter in residence is coming here to say hi. Surprise.
Hey,
Hi,
Terry
good
Mays.
How are you?
So well.
Good. I put the old lady shades on here, the clip-ons, just for this.
For it.
Do
Well,
they flip up? Are they like the 80s flip up stuff?
No,
Oh man,
they're
see?
the.
You know what, Tara? I was a little undecided on which pair of sunglasses. Can I show you
Yeah, let's
the
do a little fashion.
other pair and see what you think?
Ooh, I like those.
I do. I like those better
The
too.
circles. All right.
I like them both.
Majority
but the
rule.
circles definitely.
Cool.
And I feel like, and the reflection.
I'm just gonna listen in.
You can hang out if you want.
No, I gotta continue painting. I'll let you guys do your thing.
Sounds good.
Nice to see
Yeah.
you.
Forever the artist, Tara.
With her mermaid hair. My gosh.
I know. I
that
get it.
shows a length of time, the length of hair.
Yes. You can tell I haven't mastered cutting hair. She won't let me cut her hair. While we have the audience, everybody smash like for us. If you do it in the first couple of minutes, it's really great for the algorithm. So all right, we're gonna do a little speed round. So do you like tacos or egg rolls?
Tacos.
Okay, peanut butter or jelly?
Peanut butter.
B-52s or the Go-Go's?
B-52s.
Marx Brothers, Three Stooges?
Stooges.
Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Like, I'm indifferent. I'm not like a.
You're allowed to
super
pass.
fan.
You're allowed to
I'm gonna
pass.
pass. I mean, sorry. We may have lost some people here.
I don't think so. iPhone or Android?
Oh, iPhone all the way.
Cake or pie?
Depends on what time of day, but I guess I'll just go with cake.
Okay, so cake in the morning and pie in the evening?
No,
Vice
let's swap
versa.
that.
Swap that. All right.
Pie for breakfast, cake the rest of the day.
What's your favorite kind of pie?
Like a classic apple that's like shaved very thin, and then I like when people kind of play off of a classic apple with different toppings and brown sugars.
Cinnamon, brown sugar. Yeah, I love
Yeah, there was a farm stand on Freeport Road that closed, but they had one called Brown Betty, this apple pie that was just like killer. For a decade I got it, and it's no more.
Oh, it sounds so good though. So you're like one of my my greatest benefactors. You've bought pieces of art off me, which thank you so much. I just want to be. But the one you shared something on social media the other day. It was a shelf. It was full of individual artists and one piece of art from each of those artists. I just thought that was such a unique thing to do, you know, and you had them very meticulously arranged. So what is the, like, is there kind of like a reason for that, or is that like, and was that in your home or was that in the Airbnb?
Yeah, that was in my home.
Mm-hmm.
We had been doing a lot of renovation for fun, kind of creating this space that I'm sitting in, but also out of necessity. We had a water leak. Also that like all three of us were on top of one another in our home with our rescue dog and our other dog. And so we were changing the space around a little bit, and I was really anxious to just get these beautiful handmade pieces of art in their forever place. And I spent so much time, and that was just like a snippet of a part of a larger shelf. So we've been collecting ceramic work. We've been very fortunate to be friends with people and just encouraged to feel fine to eat soup anytime, ice cream anytime out of a handmade bowl. Like it doesn't just have to sit on a shelf, but we do have some other beautiful pieces that yeah, and you were in a line with some pretty stellar artists, and everything just looked so fantastic together. It was really cool, and I felt like it was something I wanted to share out. And then I have a couple more one other shelf I shared, and then I have multiple others. I thought I'd just sporadically share with people
Well,
before they can come to my home and actually see it.
Well, I was proud to be in that company. I know that like you have this concept that I think is pretty unique, and Diana Nelson Jones actually featured you in an article in Post Gazette. She actually mentioned me in an article recently. I have to talk to her. She's such a great person. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it was about this idea you have called a nesting box. Do you want to talk about what a nesting box is?
Yeah, and the article that she wrote was actually was addressing the difficulty or the shift in just so many sectors during the pandemic, but specifically short-term rentals, and how we just altered and changed. So that was one property across the bridge in Millville. And then in my home, I had an addition put on my house. So I was left with 2 front doors. And my architects were like, I mean, like who wants 2 front doors? Like close one up. And I thought, no. If I don't need to spend the money, I'm not going to. And like, maybe it'll come in use sometime. Well, this room, we kind of wrote off quite a bit. And it was just used to like hold like ice skates and winter clothes, and we always had the best intentions of using it, but it, with the new flow into our house, never materialized into anything other than a catch-all that was useless. And when we had first done our renovation, our son was younger and we didn't have rescue dogs or chickens, and we used to rent our house on Airbnb, and I really liked getting some passive income. No, it was never passive, Pat.
I was going to say, that's not really passive income, is it?
It's not. I'd have to like time it to like not grocery shop too much, to not have too full of a fridge. I mean, when I look back on that, we used to exit our home for strangers to come in. I'm still like befuddled on how we did this, but we did it at that time. But I wanted to return to that. And it's a small space. I had like this weird idea, and I was having drinks at a friend's outdoor farm space, and was sitting across from some friends that are architects. I mentioned the idea to them, and I just, another glass of wine, I'm gonna have a hotel room in my house. And I followed up with that friend and had her do drawings, and then they sat for a while, and I explored all the different possibilities, because what I tackled, Pat, was like tiny living, right? I live in a house built in the late 1890s. It's one of the tinier, it was like a mill house. Like, I'm not talking I live up on the hill. This was like a mill worker's house.
Right.
So I am only 14 feet wide.
Wow.
Right, the interior. Yes, this is modest. So to fit a bathroom, right? We had a bathroom, a bed, space to move about. Took some calculations, and that's where a professional who can do the math and knows the coding, the code for even like the distance from the toilet to the wall. And I mean, we really like paid a lot of attention to tiny space. And then I've mentioned I have chickens. So because we really wanted this to be a space that I don't, Pat, when you've traveled, maybe you've only wanted to like have a place to put your stuff, take a shower and sleep, but like you're out, you're out the rest of the time.
Right.
So that was the type of place we were trying to create for people. So our chickens actually move about our yard during the day, and then at night they come back, they go into their nesting box. So we have called this nesting box. And my husband said, oh, and in the description on Airbnb or short-term rental website, we'll have to say that people will free range in Lawrenceville.
Ha. Very nice. I like that.
So then we kind of did this. I had a friend design this quilt pattern behind me. It's actually made out of recycled water bottles that are felt tiles that are acoustic support as well. So we it's like a barn quilt. So we did like a little farmy, just a slight nod to Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah. I can sort of see now you say that. Before that, I was just thinking more of like, you know, I just thinking more of a Mondrian or something like that, you know.
Yeah, and this friend, and that's what was, it was very subtle, right? So like
Mhm.
maybe you'd pick that up, but you don't have to. It just kind of creates a strong visual focus.
But you have a specific like idea for an artist's like gathering space too, right? You have,
Yes.
yeah.
So with Nesting Box, the idea is that we would have people come and stay and pay. And before we've listed it, and it's been such a process in here, kind of making the space feel just perfect
Mhm.
in the limited footprint. So I'm sitting here at a desk in front of the window that goes up and down, and we have folding chairs that are against the wall. I almost let my peeper show.
Oh
All
my.
right. So I've spent time in here. I thought, oh, it's like such a nice escape. So then it led me to this idea that you can't really do much in here, but you could work on your sketchbook. And
Right.
if you had no other distractions, and you could walk and get whatever food you needed up the street and make coffee here and like take walks by the river or to the cemetery and just kind of do a straight focus on your sketchbook, that this could serve that purpose.
I did
Very
that
well.
actually. It's funny you mentioned that. In my early 20s, I was a couple years out of college, and I decided I was going to try to write my novel. Right, so I went down to Nag's Head, where the novel took place. Part of the novel took place,
Okay.
and I rented a beach house, and it was November. It had no heat. I had not anticipated that, but yes, during the day I just went all over the Outer Banks and just, you know, I'd sit by the lighthouse, you know, and I'd go hang gliding, or I'd do like whatever the character was doing, I would do. And then I would
Oh,
write
cool.
that, you know, to get that fresh experience. And yeah, so like you said, it was just a place to throw my stuff, you know, like I wasn't spending a lot of time there because it was just me. And I was going out to like socialize by going out to the restaurants and meeting the restaurant workers, because there's no tourists at that time of year. So
Oh, sure.
yeah,
I added a shipping container to my house here in Lawrenceville,
okay.
and that's what led me with 2 front doors.
And that's the nesting box.
Yes. And this, I think the nesting box is only a total of 260 square feet. If even that. I mean, it's really quite tiny.
Okay.
It's more like an RV.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels like an RV. The other space was a house, a similar age, late 1800s. Oh, sorry. So here I added the shipping container and we did a big renovation. My husband said, great, you like this, go somewhere else with someone else's money and like do it. Like, you got to chill out here. That was a few years ago, because I have managed to do other projects here. I found a house. So Millville's just across the river. Very cool. They have a music festival that luckily I just saw them put signs up that it's gonna happen.
Yes,
in person.
I'm excited to go. That's probably gonna be my first musical event.
Yeah.
Really excited.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the arts festival is coming up, but
That's true.
That's a little soon, and you know, I think that's in a
We'll
week.
scope it out. We'll see.
Yeah. So the house I found was condemned by the city. There were like numerous kinds of animal feces in this house. What water can do damage wise is
Oh,
shocking.
It's your worst enemy as a homeowner. Water.
What invasive growth can do. I mean, we had like trees growing into this house because water had been damaged over the years of just collecting. So I took it on myself because it is in a perfect location, and I saw the charm to it. It's right between Grist House, which is a very popular brewery, and Mr. Smalls, which is a very popular music venue.
The best.
And
I
then-
mean, in my opinion, all the shows that I want to see come to Mr. Smalls.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
they're just
And
the
Bill
right
again.
guys. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great venue. And if you walk down the hill, you can go to Jean-Marc's, right? And one of the
Yes.
best patisseries in the city.
Yes, and actually, I think I sent you, so maybe if the graphic can pop up, I had an artist do a hand drawing of Millville as a map, kind of showing all of the different cool features in walking distance.
Smart idea.
And had Juniper Place located, at the center of it all.
I love the name Juniper Place. That's a great name.
Thanks. The house was green when we got it, and we tried to stick with a historic color. It was also like, this took a year to basically rebuild the entire house, but the neighbors would come by and really enjoyed watching the process and really appreciated this being done.
Sure.
It was, the neighbors a couple doors down that had a small child was like horrified by this house. It was like the haunted house.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
no, not the green I went with.
every neighborhood has to have the haunted house,
Yeah, well, this has been, turned around. So
it's not even like it remotely looks like what it used to. From if it's the one where they had the drone going down, and that's the tour that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
My goodness. And the view from, of the river, just amazing.
So we're dog friendly. That has worked out really well. And right now we have, are you a Game of Thrones fan?
I know Game of Thrones very well.
I'm not like a super fan, but we have a Netflix producer and her partner who, I guess his whole family worked on Game of Thrones.
Oh, cool.
Are staying here. They moved over from another Airbnb when ours became available, because we've had actually a lot of people, Pat, in this house, which is not a huge house, but it's comfortable enough. It's way better than a hotel. I have had, I think this will be before these current folk that just came yesterday, 6 people in a row who were moving to Pittsburgh to find a house and didn't know where they were going to live. So rented our place for a very long chunk of time.
So they can explore and find out where they want to live. That's wonderful. Actually, it's funny you mentioned Game of Thrones, because I interviewed a friend of mine, Jeff Geisler, and he used to live in Santa Fe, and he was a reporter in Santa Fe, and he actually interviewed and went into the home of the man who wrote the Game of Thrones books. So,
wow.
Yeah. So that's, so we'll have to link that interview in the description, but like, it's amazing how, all of these kinds of ideas, these concepts, they all like flow together. Because when you're talking about the tiny house, another interview we did with Diane Turnchek, she's an astronomer.
I know Diane.
You know Diane?
I do know Diane.
She has a tiny house. And in fact,
I did know that, but I don't know good details.
They built it off-site. And if you watch that interview, she talks about the process. They loaded it on a truck. They had to raise like the traffic signals and take it to her lot. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty wild. So, well, you, me, and Diane will have to get together sometime.
And when we had our container delivered, we had and talking about movies getting filmed in the city, but I had to get variances to get people to not park on the street.
Right.
I was on the heels of multiple film crews. I had to go to the police and get a special permit to have all cars moved, right, to be able to make the turn. But the manager had to come and look at like our electric lines, like when they had to lift it off the truck, would it clear it? So
sure.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, I'll have to watch that interview. Cool. Nice.
I closed the studio
Nice.
when things went down. And so now I have a kick wheel on the front porch, and we have like the 3rd floor is, we can teach on the front porch. It's awesome.
Oh,
And,
that's great.
yeah, it's beautiful. It's worked out really well. It's not, it's amazing how like you don't plan things. And sometimes the universe just says, hey, you know what? Here's something even better than you were thinking.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I can work with this,
Yeah.
I'm
And it's
sure you
amazing
know.
how quickly, it's not effortlessly, but we can adapt, right?
Yeah.
That's what we've all have shown as humans. As modern humans, how much we've adapted.
We're eminently adaptable. There is no doubt about that. Yeah.
Lifelong learners.
Yes. So on a totally different track,
Yeah.
We were talking about something nice you had done for somebody in the last 24 hours. You were telling me the story about a bouncing ball. You're bouncing a ball in a store, in a not a supermarket, but like
Yeah, no, it was.
is it a
Mhm.
supermarket?
It was a supermarket in Bloomfield. It used to be called SureSave, lovingly SureSave. And actually, Pat, they had the best sunglasses.
Oh, nice.
And they played like the grooviest 70s soundtrack. Like my son and I would sometimes go there like later in the evening. I'd be like, let's go to SureSave. And we'd pick a new pair of sunglasses and like dance through the grocery store. And
Nice.
it was fantastic. And they had all kinds of like knockoff Pittsburgh t-shirts for like $5.
Very cool.
Oh, actually,
That's right down the street from Tessera's, which is one of the best places you can get a burger in.
burgers, baby.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mhm.
Actually, I almost pulled the mask out. I got a mask. Either it was from there or it was from their same manufacturers that say I'm surrounded by jagoffs. My mask.
That's a great. I've been making masks. I've been, into Dogecoin lately.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
So
I
these are
can't
all
get one.
these are all
Oh.
symbols of money in different. Obviously, that's a euro. This is like Vietnamese. I forget. I think this is Danish, but like I thought, I don't know. Well, I'm wearing the hat of the same
I see
thing.
it now in
This-
your hat too. Are you hand painting those?
Yeah, this is hand painted. So I bought some fabric paint for the heck of it because
Yeah.
with an artist, and so yeah, so I'll throw this on. Actually, I threw it on eBay. This will be for sale, and we'll see if I can get $15 for it. Who knows?
Hey, I know you guys are super crafty up in that
We just, this place is like,
crafty compound.
yeah. I mean, it was before, but now we were staying home the whole time, so like.
Right.
It's like, okay, here's the computer station. Here's like the easel. Here's like the clay. It's awesome. I don't have to leave my house. Perfectly content.
Well, my son is into, he said the other day he wanted to invest some in Dogecoin, but it's
Well,
like,
I would recommend like being into the cultural movement. I would
yes,
not commit.
exactly, because
Yes.
it's out of, I mean, it's like not even.
I
like
would not commit a
possible.
ton of capital to it since it's a coin
think
that
it's
was
even
designed to self-destruct, basically. So yeah, let's not get on a roller coaster that has no end, or has a cliff as an
It
end.
has, that's a good way to say it. That has
Yeah.
a-
So like,
because Pat, there are ways to not go broke doing good.
yes,
And
That's
that is
exactly
what
right.
I'm like trying to figure out is moving from a starving artist to one who can support the arts and kind of be
well,
part of more of a cultural exchange.
and fortunately, people are starting to do that. They're starting to invest their money where their values are. They're
Yes,
not just
definitely.
trying to get rich, So,
Here you go.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to segue from apple to the color red,
Yes.
which was the color of the ball I was bouncing. So I went to SureSave, which was used to be called SureSave, and now it's Community Market. It was purchased by Giant Eagle, and just kind of late on Saturday night. And since then, I've actually been noticing that this is the time of year where little fun, airy, lofty balls are being sold in large bins. So my son and nephew were home and we were going to be seeing family the next day. And I thought, I'm going to get 2 of them. They were $2 each. So when I was checking out, guy said, do you want bags for them? I said, well, maybe one in a bag and one I'll just carry. And he spun it on his finger. And I mean, it was a kind of ball, you just get it in your hands and there's no way to not feel playful. I mean, so the one that was on his finger, like bounced off of the counter and was like bouncing on the floor and the checkout towards the exit. And I do have a hurt ankle right now, but it was wrapped. So I pulled out some basketball moves and I just like caught up with the ball and carried my bags and dribbled it out of the door and past the manager, and she had a big smile on her face. And so I just continued bouncing it through the parking lot. And there was an older woman who was loading up her car, and it was really at the end of the night. And we both were kind of some of the only people in the parking lot. And we just kind of had our back and forth. So, hello, how you doing? Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And I overheard her just kind of saying quietly that she knew her grandkids would love a ball like that. And just kind of quickly like calculating that like the store's closing, she's elderly, making that trip back in, like what would that mean? So I just yelled, hey, I got 2 balls. You want this ball? And I went over to her, and I think something that's really important is just accepting help or kindness when people are offering it. And she didn't skip a beat. I mean, she said, since you're asking, yes, I will take that ball. I said, yeah, sure, enjoy it. And then she said, wait, I have 2 packages of popsicles. And she held these frozen popsicles up. She said, pick one. I want you to have one. And I picked one, and I said, thank you. And my husband was sitting in the car, and he was like, what kind of stuff just like goes on with you? Huh? And then I came home, and the boys were playing video games, and they weren't going to play with a plastic ball at that time, but I gave them each a banana popsicle, and they were thrilled. So.
But it does. And the funny thing is it does happen to you. And one of the great things one of the things I love about you is you have this positive energy. You always do. And it's obvious that does not surprise, that story did not surprise me, because knowing you, your spontaneity and your playfulness with life. And, the other day one lady was walking and she had her phone out and she was playing music. I guess she didn't want her earbuds in. So in case, traffic,
Sure.
So she wanted to be aware of what was going on around her. It's just bikers out and stuff. Not that early usually, but they were playing, she was playing Uptown Funk, right? And I couldn't help it. I just couldn't. She's just about to pass me, and I went, don't believe me, just watch, woo! And I did a little spin, and I think I freaked her out, like she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you were playing the music, and then we laughed about it, but I realized I probably could have got maced, so, but
only if she had a cup of coffee first, because, that early in the morning, you may be delayed in any responses.
Well, she was walking, she was like moving, like she was out for her exercise. So she was fully awake, What's up, babe?
Nothing. I'm in between colors.
Yeah.
Oh, watch him paint dry. We're better than that, huh?
Yeah, just taking a moment.
Great.
That's cool.
I gotta get tomatoes this week. I gotta get a
Oh, Tara, you can't. We have tomatoes I'm trying to get rid of, like really nice sized plants.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Drawer has we have 3 to 5 plants we're getting rid of. So
Take
he was like, you just don't have room for them. And they're looking good.
Do you want another lightsaber hilt?
Do
you want to? We'll trade you. I'll trade you a piece of art.
I want one of your hand painted Doja coin somethings.
Okay, sure.
Something for Zeev. We'll do that.
You got it. I'll give you a hat.
Are you
want a hat or a mask? I'll give you both.
Thanks, Heather.
Yeah. Are you particular though? I think we have some cherry. There's some yellow. There's some heirloom. Nope.
Okay. I'm ready. I'll be surprised. I'll take care of them all. I talk to them. I sing to them.
Well,
my one friend said, I actually texted him that he was talking about pets. And I said, well, I have tomato plants. He said, they make poor pets. I said, no, I sing to mine. He's like, nobody has to know that. I said, oh, the neighbors know. The neighbors know I sing. But I know she gives me weird looks. So do you want to plug your consulting business?
Oh, sure.
Tell us about that. We'll put it in the We'll put it in the description box.
I go by the name Public Studio. I head it, but when a project calls for it, I have subcontractors. So I have writers and builders that I work with. It's communications and connection strategy with universities, sometimes with other designers. I actually recently just helped a friend who spun out from a game design company. She was pretty senior there and had been there during its growth from like 15 people to 300 people. She left to pursue her own project to make an indie games and was looking to build up a relationship of play testers that were family focused. So I helped her with a lot of different avenues of like building trust and creating community. And Pat, you'll probably appreciate this, even like the idea of the play test.
Yeah.
I said, let's send like a package. Like, let's send like
Mhm.
popcorn and lemonade and make it like a way for a family to get together, not this thing they have to check off, but like
Right.
this enjoyment.
Make
So
it an event.
when Pat and I, Tara, when I came on to this interview, there was this like kind of goofy music going on in the background. I said, oh, Zeev and I, my son and I were judging video games. Was another client of mine. Kids made digital.
So the
video
other day,
games.
Tara brought home a bag of Reuben flavored potato
Yeah.
chips.
Yeah.
I had a Cuban sandwich flavored potato chip.
Well, how was it? Was it good?
So I'm going to guess it was similar to Reuben. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to bounce back to you to say which flavor profile was the most prominent.
Sauerkraut.
For the Cuban sandwich, it was a pickle.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a mustardy pickle, which you hope for. I mean, I guess that would make the most sense.
I think that they started with the recipe for like pickle chips and then like went with like, and then tried to make it into sauerkraut or like
okay.
bigger and then make it sauerkraut. And then they're like, oh, how can we maybe add the meat?
Let's do a little meaty
Yeah.
shake sprinkle on this thing.
Mhm.
So I'm going off the board here. I don't think that in this case, I don't think anybody knew what they were doing. I think they just threw a bunch of stuff together. They got a bunch of people blindfolded and say, what does this remind you of?
There you go.
Because it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
But Tara
On a
introduced
scale of
me
1
to
to
some
10, it
funky
was like a
popcorn
3.
that I actually think is like gross and delicious.
What is it?
It was it was like buttered corn flavored popcorn, fire roasted buttered corn.
Oh yeah, no.
I
Like
like
burnt,
it. I
like
actually
burnt
like
popcorn. Tastes like burnt popcorn, basically.
No, but I liked it. And then I have a
Oh,
friend.
you liked it.
Oh, I
okay.
liked it. I had it first at Tara's and I was like, ew, corn.
Is that at the studio?
Yeah, I think I remember. I think it was one of those weird brands.
Purchases. Oh, so it's not a regular.
Yeah, no. I
Have
think
you
it
had
was
the
just-
voodoo chips?
No, what are
That
voodoo chips?
spice flavor, I think you two would like.
my favorite potato chip in all time, and you don't see it that often, is the crab chip or
Oh yes,
or the Old Bay chip.
totally know what you're talking about.
I like the crab and the Old Bay chip. Sometimes I like the mesquite. You know, they don't have it all the time.
Cheddar and sour cream for me. I could eat a whole bag in one sitting. It's terrible.
But
I also like I like the Hawaiian sweet onion.
Those are good. Those are really good. Oh no, yeah. Every once in a while, a really, really good barbecue chip, especially if it's on the sweeter side. Ugh.
But I can taste the MSG on them all.
Well,
Like it's just like it's just it's a flavor component. It's just
MSG is a flavor enhancer.
I know, and I can taste it. I can taste it.
It's used in all the good chefs use it. Is there anything you want to add, Heather?
Oh, well, did I talk enough about Sketchbook Residency? I did buy sketchbookresidency.com and .org was available. So
Okay.
I'm fleshing that out. Artists will stay here seasonally. We'll do it, 4 times a year. And I'm hoping that we'll try to lower the barrier to make it much easier for artists to apply and be accepted. And we're also hoping.
So talk about this. So you're saying basically you're going to invite artists to stay in your space, but it's going to be subsidized by somebody else, maybe if they need to be. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, explain that because
Part of
I don't
it,
think we covered
their
that.
stay will be underwritten basically by anyone else who ever stays here, right? All other paying guests will contribute to the fund that will cover them. And we'll just ask that they leave a piece of hand-drawn work that will be kind of a flat file in the space so that any other guest that comes here will be able to get exposed to this artist. Just kind of like creating an opportunity for people to connect, to better
But
Cool.
is there any message you have for the people out there you want to say as a goodbye?
keep it playful.
Keep it playful. I like it. All right. I'm going to tell you guys to do nice things without getting caught. Everybody have a great day. And I'm going to close down the meeting now.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye, Heather.